A 21-year-old Texan was still a virgin, so he traveled to a brothel in Dallas to see what he'd been missing. Wholesome. Made me smile. There are no brothels in Baptist Dallas. Op must have meant log range. Slow down on the curves. Must be from Oklahoma. Kismet. Take my hand. I'm a stranger in paradise. A doctor lacking empathy. An old man went to the doctor complaining about wax in one of his ears. Which ear is it? Asked the doctor. 2023, replied the old man. Kids in the Hall did a similar skit in the 90s about an unempathetic doctor. The line I'll always remember is what rhymes with rumor and is growing in your head. What a jerk, make the poor guy suffer just to finally tell him everything's gonna be okay. What a relief. Hee hee. Made me chuckle. See y'all in hell, folks. Damn doc, that's cold, says the husband. Not as cold as that body, if you know what I'm saying, says the doc. A woman pregnant with triplets had a hunting accident with a pump gun. Buckshot. Why was he jerking off looking at the cat? Zeus. What's a pump gun? There's another variation, pretty much the exact same, except her husband was fighting in a civil war and on her way to the doc for her checkup, she got shot a few times. Once again, 3 bullets were not able to be removed without endangering the triplets. This joke is based on a true story. Why was he jerking off at the cat? 117. Tell me you know nothing about guns without telling me you know nothing about guns. Do you often write fiction about kids jerking off? Pretty good. And new to me. Fix the errors though. Just use edit. An American family has grandparents who live in Russia. Every month, the grandparents send a package of powder to the American family. She got scattered all right, all over the toilet pan. Now she is scattered in America. How is this a dad joke? How is this a dad joke? Someone is scatterbrained for not making a note. Although they are hyped right into it, they don't URN the smartest tool in the shed award. Boo-oo. But where did they mean for those ashes to be Putin? An inexperienced young dude hooks up with a rather experienced MILF on Tinder. Do you know they give me a blowjob and I owe you one? I always go for a 77, it's like a 69, but she gets 8 more. With today's inflation, it's no longer 69, it's 96. Oh, that's great. Gave me a good laugh. Thanks for sharing. We're assuming that neither have an imminent dentist appointment coming up. I had girl once ask me if I wanted to 69. Instead, though, I suggested a 34.5. She said, "What's that? Sounds fun. But I've never heard of it." I replied that a 34.5 is where she first blows me, then afterward, we start all over again. Sorry, I'm lost on the joke. Is he blowing air into her until it farts back out? Hey, I'm Andrew Bowser, the performer behind the viral character Weird Satanist Guy Onyx the Fortuitous. I have a movie coming out today for one night only AMA. I saw the movie through Sundance and loved it, and I'm sad I have to miss out seeing it in theaters tonight, but I've got to travel out of town tonight. Is there a chance of the movie staying in theaters longer if it performs well like Terrifier 2 last year, or is it just a single night? And if not, do you know yet when it'll be streaming? Oh wow, it's Onyx. Are there any environments you want to bring the Onyx character, but it either hasn't worked out or you haven't been able to yet? Hey Andrew. How did you like the Kickstarter process? Would you do it again in the future? How much of Onyx is you IRL? How did you come up with the idea for this character, and how has he evolved over the years? How did you first end up becoming a Satanist? Any chance on a Bizarre States reunion? Love you, man. How helpful will $50,000 be right now to you? Would eliminate a lot of my monthly payments, car, student loans, etc. I just like to be able to buy normal groceries once a week instead of once every 2 weeks and stretching it until I'm paid again. Literally life-changing TBH. 1 million pesos? When the median salary head is 9,000 monthly. That would be an absolute godsend. It would be nice, but I'd still need to get up in the morning and go to work. Wouldn't it be nice to just be able to buy groceries and not have a running total in your head while you shopped? Edit for groceries would be very useful for a house deposit. Why? Do you want to give me $50,000? Life-changing for me. I'm desperate and would be able to wipe out debt. And be able to buy good food. Hell, I'll take $50 if you're offering. I wasn't born gay. This joke blows me away. It was thrust upon you? You sat on that one for a while, didn't you? Joke's better if told orally. I'm going to assume you enjoy it now. I wasn't born bisexual. Like every bisexual of my generation. In 1999 I watched the theatrical masterpiece The Mummy starring Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. You might as well roll with it. You can't be too anal about these things. My mother made me a homosexual. And if you give her the wool, she can make you one too. How do you know if your roommate is gay? His dick tastes like shit. I was going to make a joke in the fuck it. I wasn't born gay, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. You are a blue blood. You were not? I believe Lady Gaga made a song about just you. The lyrics go like, it doesn't matter if you love him or capital H-I-M. Just put your paws up. Cause you were born this gay, baby. Men who have used a fleshlight, is it worth it? What does it feel like? To be honest, the fleshlight is very good. Obviously nothing is as good as the real thing. That said, it's soft, tight, and if you warm it up first, warm. A touch of lube and it's a pretty good time. Cleanup is a pain. It's not easy to clean. B, you're in post-nut shame mode so it feels pretty stupid afterwards. I don't have a fleshlight but I got a egg. It's white silicone with texture on the inside and can be flipped inside out so it sounds easier to clean. But it's a bit hard to dry. Also need lube or spit. I don't want to cheat on my hand. I tried it a couple times and found out I don't like to grip a thermos-sized object every time I want to get off. Millennials gained and lost the skill to text from their pockets without looking. I used to text 8-page essays to my GF with zero spelling and punctuation errors while driving. Now I use both hands, and it looks like I'm having a stroke mid-text. Went out of style with the actual buttons on a phone. Can't feel your way around a touch screen. I could type so fast on my T-Mobile Sidekick people at parties would randomly be like, yo, type something for us real quick, and a crowd would gather around, lol. I would also close the screen against my leg like I was holstering it. The early 2000s were easy times. Well, keyboards went from 12 keys to over 40 with no ability to differentiate by feel. I am getting so sick of millennials and their attitude. Always walking around like they rent the place. They took our buttons and thus our true talent ability. Yep, now all I can do is play pool under the desk. But the clicking could get you caught. Till about the Judas goat technique. Judas goats are captured, sterilized, radio collared and then re-released to associate with and reveal the location of other feral goats in the area, sparing their own lives in the process. This is what the aliens did with Jason Momoa in Stargate Atlantis. I always heard that the Judas goat was a goat kept with a herd of sheep, trained to lead the impressionable herd into the slaughterhouse and itself spared. This is actually done with a good number of large vertebrates. For instance, they use this same technique to track Burmese pythons in the Everglades. Trap and neuter has always been the best and most humane way to deal with invasive species. America has been doing well at slowly dealing with their domestic cat problem this way, and it's pretty ethical to boot nothing dies before its time. Judas goat would make a great band name. Et tu Billy? What an arc boss. Why are we suddenly at war with goats? Why do all my new friends die? Still that following the Revolutionary War, Philadelphia entered a period of heightened sexual activity, characterized by informal encounters in pretty much any available location. During this time, it became known to many as Sin City. And that was just Ben Franklin. It's how Gritty was conceived. Independence makes me wanna fuck. Let freedom ring. Could be like NYC was after 9/11. People were hooking up big time. Trauma can do that, I guess. The city of brotherly love. Honestly, this resembles Philadelphia after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. TBF, half of that was because of Ben Franklin being in town. You all been to Kensington? Shit's still like that. I guess nobody knew how to say no to this DENNIS system, always and forever. Someone took the slow train to Philly. People banging in a dumpster behind a Wendy's since 1776. Till that instead of using his make-a-wish for something for himself, 13-year-old Abraham Oligbigi used his wish to feed the homeless in his neighborhood for a year. Another 5-minute pause for the orphan crushing machine. A homeless guy asked me for money today, so I looked in my pocket for change, but all I had on me was a $20 bill. I thought to myself, do I really want this $20 going towards, so I gave him the 20. What a fucking G. A lord among men. A true hero. Thanks for sharing op. People like that deserve the recognition. I used mine to go to Hawaii. Way to make me feel like shit, Abraham. He should have wished for unlimited wishes instead. This is how you leave a mark. Makes you wonder why homeless people aren't fed by charitable nonprofits in the first place. What if there were a way everyone could pitch in to keep hungry people from starving? Our orphan crushing machine. Till the FBI spent much of the 90s and early 2000s building a RICO case against Wu-Tang, believing them to be a wider criminal enterprise responsible for gun running and murders from Ohio to New York. Wu-Tang Clan member RZA said in an interview that the FBI investigation had a negative impact on the group career. He said that the FBI surveillance and harassment made it difficult for the group to book shows and tours. I was to understand that Wu-Tang is for the children. If they want beef, then bring the ruckus. Thanks to Harvey Dent, I don't have to Google what this means. I heard they caused more family feuds than Richard Dawson, not terribly unlike the Navy investigation looking for Dorothy, who some claim to be a friend of. Turns out "Hey friend of Dorothy" was just a way to ask if someone was gay in a clandestine manner, not some Soviet spy. Diversify your bonds. Imagine it being like 1/4 of your life's work. The faithful soldier. Ah yes, penis inspection day. I was waiting for the punchline to be, "Like you taught us sir, always attack from behind." 100 Men in One Day. The wife is a living legend. When I heard this joke literally 50 years ago, it was with Sir Lancelot. After the king's praise, Sir Lancelot was speechless. This joke has a giant hole in it. Stealthily sneaks an anti-cheat device into the wife's scooch. I didn't get. Waiting for a kind person to enlighten. I heard a version of this where King Arthur puts a chatty belt on the queen that has a guillotine in it. Then went on a quest. When he got back he checked the Knights of the Round Table. All had their penises chopped except Sir Lancelot. Author hugged him. SND asked how he could be so. Lancelot was speechless. This joke really flows. What is the punchline? I don't get it. Explanation PLS. I don't get it. What are some fun facts about boobs? When breastfeeding, the milk comes out like a shower head, not just one single stream. Boob spelled backwards is boob. Sometimes boobs can feel hard due to tissue hardening. I have it and it can hurt to put pressure on said tissue. The word boob represent the boobs from every views. B for top view. U for front view. B for side view. They're usually sisters, not twins. They're magic if I can't find something and I hold my boobs while looking for it. Instantly find the lost item. Mammary glands are just modified sweat glands, which I've always found pretty interesting. In fact, monotremes like platypus don't even have nipples, they just sweat milk right onto their skin and their babies lap it up. What are some fun facts about the penis? The seam on your ballsack is where your protovagina sealed up while you were in the womb. It is almost always darker than the rest of the body. An elephant's penis is prehensile, like its trunk. It can use it to pick up objects. No matter how hard you shake it, the last 3 drops always fall inside your underwear. Fun fact: the erection happens when blood enters the penis. The main structure of the penis hardens and expands obviously, but by doing so it presses the veins and blocks them. Meaning the blood comes, but doesn't go out of the organ, thus keeping it hard for long. This is why erections over 6 hours are dangerous, because the blood blockage is for too long time and penis can die due to lack of oxygen. I hope it was interesting. It was first discovered in 1605 when Richard Penis looked in his pants and said, "What the fuck?" Just because it's erect does not mean the person is horny aroused. What can you buy for less than $150 that will change your life? A good pillow, a dash cam, a portable battery booster for your car. The one I have has boosted my vehicles and others when we didn't have jumper cables or couldn't access the front of the car easily for boosting. The one I have, a Halo, is also a flashlight and has an outlet for charging anything. Battery lasts forever. Best $100 I've ever spent. A nice chef's knife. You can spend way more, but you can still get a really quality one with a sharp edge and good balance for this. You'll feel more confident in the kitchen and find yourself wanting to cook more. Carbon monoxide detector. Plug it in your bedroom. That way if there's the 1/1,000,000 chance your appliance or heater or whatever malfunctions, you'll at least wake up before you die from suffocation in your sleep. I mean wake up before you die so you can leave. The goal is to avoid suffocating. What conspiracy theory did you have that people called you crazy for, but turns out you were right? I've stopped counting how many times people have excitedly told me about some hot new trend and I was like, yeah, that's a pyramid scheme. Then a year or two later, yeah, it turned out to definitely have been a pyramid scheme. My boss banging the secretary every Tuesday from 7:15 a.m. to 7:45 a.m. as his wife started late on Tuesday. A lot of those Twitter and Instagram meme accounts you get your political information from are not who they claim to be and aren't acting in your best interests. I was talking about how chocolate bars kept getting smaller long before people were going on about shrinkflation. I gave my parents quite a mouthful as a 4-year-old who wanted more candy. I don't think I've argued anything as passionately since. That the CIA were responsible for introducing crack into black neighborhoods in the 80s. What small upgrade made a huge difference at your house? Soft close cabinets and toilet seats. King-sized bed. Replaced dated lighting fixtures. Fixtures are now properly grounded, the interior looks more updated, and there is more better light. Spending a day mounting my artwork. It felt so much more like my home after that. After living here for 35 years. We had all the windows in the house replaced 5 months ago. The house is so much more comfortable and quiet. It was expensive, but worth it. Buying a high-quality chef's knife, and the stones to keep it is so pleasurable as prepping dinner, and actually having a knife that cuts things properly. What's the biggest example of from genius to idiot has there ever been? Don't understand how Sam Bankman-Fried isn't on this list yet. Dude was in magazines being called a prophet and genius, turns out he was just a fucking idiot the whole time. I think Steve Jobs was a marketing and sales genius. Then when it came to his treatable cancer, well, I wouldn't call him an idiot, but he placed his faith in the wrong person, and his I always win attitude cost him his life. He was unlucky to get cancer, but lucky that it was treatable at the stage it was discovered, but he ignored his doctors and thought that changing his diet would heal him. The guy that invented PCR, which was groundbreaking in early DNA research, got a Nobel Prize, though most probably remember it from the COVID days went off the rails, denied that HIV caused AIDS even after it was scientific consensus, and spent his time talking to a glowing raccoon in the forest at night. Wizards in the Harry Potter universe can just trade hair instead of nudes. And painful? Or was that just cause homeboy was drinking it too long? Also imagine trying to jerk off in a completely new way. Second thought, polyjuice sex, they become each other then go at it. You're forgetting that polyjuice potion is incredibly difficult to make. Also that it takes over a month to brew. Imagine the mail order black market for hair of celebrities. Or a Wizards OnlyFans where they just sell it themselves. Okay, but they have to convince someone else to take the polyjuice potion, which is much more inconvenient. I mean that, or just go down to the joke shop down the street and buy a completely legal love potion. No? It takes a long time to brew and can be pretty painful. Can someone explain to a muggle? Took me a while to understand WTF Op was talking about. Lamau. But fair point off, just get one of those magical moving pictures. You're tasked with making a TV ad for Viagra. What song are you using? Harder, better, faster, stronger, like a rock. Bob Seger, You Raise Me Up. Josh of slow motion shots of phallic foods moving from bottom of the screen to the top, with a corner like a man carrying a lady to the bedroom as she feeds him the little blue fades before any clothes are removed. Fade into a table covered in all the foods that can help with Ed, while the side effects of the blue pill are listed off in the background. Pump Up the Jam, Tub Thumping, Sex Machine aka Get On Up by James Brown. Whoomp, there it is. Queen, Don't Stop Me Now. Seabat Hudson Mohawk. Start Me Up by the Stones. Feel Good Inc. Solid as a Rock, Ashford and Simpson. Beat It. Better, Faster, Stronger by Deft. After that proves to be a huge success, we run another ad, More Time by Daft Punk.